Hello everyone, we are raising our profile and raising our profits today. So welcome to Google Hangout and also welcome to Periscope. I know with Periscope it's a little bit more difficult to see the screen, but bear with me, but you will be able to hear me. And please give me some hearts if you like what you hear. So welcome to Raise Your Profile, Raise Your Profits. Do you know the number one reason many coaches never get around to raising their profits? And it's one reason nobody ever usually thinks about. It's because they don't raise their profiles. As simple as that. I mean, you can invest in all the programs in the world. You can outsource content, start social media campaigns, put products out. But if people don't know who you are, why should they care? You're throwing money away. You'll get results, but they'll be a fraction of what you would be able to achieve with a strong profile in your niche and good public visibility. So raising your profile is pretty scary stuff. All of us have our comfort zones. I mean, I'm feeling, that I've got Periscope and Google Hangout going on at the moment. And places and situations where we can excel and even stand out in our circles. But talk about going public and putting yourself out there. It's amazing how many people, coaches included, suddenly come up with a million reasons why it's not the right time. You know what? It'll never be the right time, like having a baby. It's never the right time, and it'll never be the wrong time either. It'll be what you make of it. And this webinar today is happening so I can share with you specific steps to take to ensure you'll be able to step up and step out with confidence, raising your profile and your profits. So let me introduce myself. I'm Karen Edgar. I'm a leading life purpose consultant, and also I work with new coaches to help them start their businesses. My business is Smart Woman Academy, and for me, it's a smart woman who, recognizing that her life is not working in the way that she would like, takes steps to do something about it, and more than something, takes steps to change her life. I've helped numerous entrepreneurs discover their life purpose, because you'd be surprised how many entrepreneurs do not fully believe they're still living their life purpose, even though they're in business. I tend to work a lot with women who want to reaffirm their life purpose. And my inspiration came when I was working at the Foreign Office in my previous career, which was human resources management. And in that particular career, I was working with a woman who was watching me start to become self-employed. I was leaving my career to become self-employed. And she looked at me one day and she said, if I had my time again, I would have been an actress, or I would have had a beauty salon. And this woman was being bullied at work, and I think being bullied at home by her husband as well. And yet she completely lit up. And she became my kind of inspiration, because it was like, she was giving in. I asked her why wasn't she doing those things now? And she said, I couldn't possibly. I'm 55 and I'm, I've got this big pension in front of me. And she was just dying at her desk. Please, please don't die at your desk. Take steps to change your life. And a lot of women have taken steps to change their life. A lot of women are coaches. A lot of women are beginning coaches, and they are taking the right steps, but they are worried about being visible. So that's what this webinar is all about. How to become more visible, how to raise your profile. And step one is all about, who are you? You're a coach. Thank you for those who are on Periscope. If you can see that screen, it says, who are you? But I will be speaking anyway. I will be saying exactly what's on the screen. And I would appreciate some hearts if you like what you're hearing. You are a coach, so you probably have a pretty good idea of who you are and why you do the things you do to help your clients. And if you don't, that's the first area you need to tackle. Until you have a clear vision of how you want people to perceive you and what your mission is, you won't even know what areas of your profile you need to raise. It's a certainty that no matter what you intended when you started out on your coaching path, things have changed along the way. And that's even if you've been at coaching school and have been spending 1, 2, 3 years at coaching school, and now you've come out. The coaching industry will have changed from when you started. or if you're a new coach or a struggling coach, the coaching industry will have changed. And it's a certainty that no matter what you intended when you started out on your coaching path, things have changed, and so tracking those changes and looking at the reasons behind them can be a positive and useful activity. And it will help you reaffirm your mission, so who you are and why you do the things. If you don't know, then that's the first area you need to tackle. No matter what you intended when you started out on your coaching path, things have changed. So you need to reaffirm your mission, your decisions, your principles, your priorities, your needs, your challenges, your skills, and your gifts. So go back over the last few years, since you created your business, or since you started thinking about business, and note all the milestones, good and bad. What did each one of these teach you about yourself, about your mission, about the people you're best at helping, and the ones who took action on your advice? Because even if you're at coaching school, you will have had practice clients. And what did you learn from working with these clients, with these practice clients and with paying clients? How have you changed? Who are you today? So take stock, and if you need to, write down your mission statement as it was then and what it is now, and a detailed description of who you help and how you can best help them. And what is your unique gift, the aspect of your coaching that brings the deepest and most enduring results for you and inspires people to take action? So once this webinar's finished, I would take the opportunity to do that. And actually, I've got a checklist that people who signed up for this webinar will have got automatically. If you would like it, then please email me at karen@smartwomanacademy.co.uk. That's karen@smartwomanacademy.co.uk. And I will send you the checklist where you can go through and implement everything that you've learned on the webinar today. So when you've finished it, try this little exercise. Give yourself a 3 or 4 word title, even if you never use it in public. Play the game of who am I in earnest, and it will help you set in clear identity of who you are. But there's only one rule. Your title has to reflect your main mission or passion. So if it was me, I would probably say even my Skype handle is Life Purpose Guide, because that's what I believe I'm here for, to help guide a woman in her life purpose. But some other examples. So for example, if coaching is all about helping people to eliminate debt and shift to a prosperous mindset, brainstorm potential titles that reflect this. Like there's an example here, Rhonda Honda, the money mindset transformer, or Lucille Bravado, the money magician. So who are you and what would you call yourself? I mean, they're not really great examples off the top of my head, but you get the idea. How would you describe yourself in 3 or 4 words? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known as? How would you like to think of yourself? What title will you own? In many cultures during the medieval days, and even among some cultures today, people didn't have surnames like Anderson or Bentley. They were known by some distinguishing factor, usually reflecting either a physical or spiritual characteristic or their profession. So you would have people named like Ben the Blacksmith, Limping Tom, Shy Laughing Girl, or even Skull Crusher, Sven the Skull Crusher. So if you were living in medieval days, what title would those you know or who you see every day, what would they call you? And if it's something negative, shift it to a title you really want to have. And negative or positive, make sure your secret or not so secret title is related to who you are and your core mission. I'm just going to tap on Periscope and just show people who I am. Hi there. I just thought I'd say hello, because you're just looking at a blank screen, you're just looking at a screen all the time, aren't you? So I'm Karen Edgar, and I'll return to the webinar now. So how have you changed? And when you've done this brief exercise, but it's quite crucial to give an appraisal of who you are and played this title game, continue on with the following strategies. And I'm talking to people who've got the checklist, so this will make more sense once you've got the checklist. So step 2, beef up your branding. You know who you are and who you want to attract, but does your website reflect that? Does it do a good job of representing your mission and your message? Branding is not just about having a snazzy logo. It's about consistency. It's about making sure that every sign of professional you on and off the web tells a consistent story and gives the same strong message. Let's take a short inventory of areas you have to pay attention to when you're making sure you create a strong brand presence. Then we'll discuss quick but effective ways to fix anything that needs fixing. Your website, your profile photos, your about page, and your products and packages. These are easy, tangible areas to quickly fix. In a moment, we'll get to the more tangible areas where people often have difficulty in building and maintaining consistency. But first, let's take a look at your website. Are you using cutting-edge theme? If you're using a WordPress as your website content management system, you're incredibly fortunate because it's easy to change themes to a new mobile responsive theme in a current style. There are fashions in web design, just as much as in clothes or home decorating, and you don't want a website that's hopelessly outdated unless your clients prefer that style. Right now is actually a great time to upgrade your website. With Google's new mobile-ready rules, many web designers are offering great deals on site upgrades, so outsource this and get it done professionally. If you have an old-fashioned static site, it's definitely time for a new website. You want one that focuses on one main call to action and one main message on your page, preferably with one big incentive to connect with you. So let's take a look at what's hot right now. And there's one here on the screen at the moment, which is Grant Writers Plus. And what's current right now can be summed up in 3 phrases: full screen, lush graphics, and interactive. And the main message is the only body text to appear above the fold. If you don't know what above the fold is, it's sort of more top of the page. It's where someone doesn't have to scroll down to see something. It's where it's all happening right at the top of the page or up to the middle of the page. The main message is the only body text to appear above the fold. So the main message is developing a new body of work. We find the funding to help you do that. That's all above the fold. Another hallmark, the photos are striking. They carry instant impact. And here's another one from the same site. With these types of graphics-driven full-width sites, it's become convention, and it's understood that anyone who wants to read more only has to slide down below the fold. So people get used to it, and they know there may well be something down the bottom, but put the main things for your website above the fold. Finally, these websites have another thing in common. They're all mobile-friendly in response to Google's new rules. So if we test Grant Writers Plus in Google Webmaster's mobile test page, this is what we see. That is indeed mobile friendly according to new guidelines. What is seen on mobile is just the main message. We find the funding to help you achieve your goals. Another great example is Coach Glue. And here it is. Coach Glue uses a striking, relevant photograph. It's branded with Coach Glue colours and gives them more important message. On top of that, the site brings all this together with a cohesive, strong, but simple and easily memorable logo. And their logo is we make your clients stick to you. So this brings me to the next point. Do you have a logo? Does it reflect your message and attract the right clients? Does it reflect something you do? Some physical trademark you're known for? A professionally designed logo is a wonderful branding tool. You create your logo once, and then you can insert it anywhere you have online or print presence. You can see my logo at the top, Smart Woman Academy. And with my logo, it was designed by a woman who was designing the inner of cars originally before she set up in her business. And I'm quite a spiritual person. I'm also about transformation. I'm an award-winning leader of transformation. And I also believe in angels. And the colours that I've chosen are red for confidence and empowerment. And there's a pinker sort of more feminine touch as well there. And I said all that to this woman when she was designing my logo, and she just got it. Because yes, it is a butterfly, but if you look, it's more than that. It's a woman spreading her wings, and that's what I want for women. I want to empower a woman. And so I thought long and hard about my logo, about what I wanted in it, but she created it, and I'm very happy with it. And it's had some really great feedback. So does yours reflect your message and attract the right clients? Does it reflect something you do? Is it some physical trademark you're known for? A professionally designed logo is a wonderful branding tool. You create your logo once, and then you can insert it anywhere you have online or print. Pretty soon people glance at your logo and instantly think of you and what you do. Is your site cluttered? Is it full of distractions? The single most important message, remember, that's the only thing that should really stand out above the fold. It should make the visitor unable to resist learning more. The only acceptable alternative to your most important message would be your most compelling call to action. And a call to action is just what you want your visitor to do next. So if you want your visitor to sign up for your free coaching call, try asking a question and offering to answer it during a complimentary session, for example. But no matter how hot your new design, web design or theme is, you also need to ask yourself, does it contain strong calls to action in the first place? In the right place? So celebrity entrepreneur Marie Forleo manages to create both a strong message and a call to action on her homepage. So the strong message is get anything you want, and then I'll show you how, again above the fold, get free tips to create a business and a life you love. And her website address is marieforleo.com if you're interested in looking further. And she's not afraid to emphasize her call to action with a prominent arrow graphic either. Finally, do you keep your website updated? And if not, do you at least promote it? Can you do this by running it in coordination with Facebook group or a Facebook page, with social media ads? By tweeting new posts or offers, and by combining all these things, promotion and website presence, with a strong overall business strategy, you'll be on the right path. One that involves making sure you have a strong profile. The first step to raising your profile is to make sure you have a strong one. And that brings us to the About page. Is your About page, is it current? Is it updated? Is it all about your trophy collection, or does it only contain things your ideal client wants to know? Make sure it also speaks with your voice. People should feel as if you're talking directly to them when you're telling them what you're all about. They should not feel as if they're reading a brag sheet or a dry corporate bio. And do make sure you include a profile photo that's not just professional, but that reflects the mood and message of your site. Finally, nothing builds your status more than genuine testimonials. Although they are considered outdated, Johnson boxes with client quotes, profile photos, and contact information are still effective. But you can give them an updated feel by including them as success stories rather than dry testimonials. I've heard other people call them praise or flattery, or, the word testimonial, that makes people take recommendations with a grain of salt nowadays. It just sounds a little bit heavy, and sharing is another thing I've heard. Better yet, be creative about getting testimonials. Don't bribe your clients or hold a free session and then after someone's spilt their most intimate secrets, say, would you mind giving me a testimonial? You'll probably get one, but it won't be the sort that sells. Better to ask clients for a testimonial with a gentle prompt, such as a feedback form or survey that mentions comments may be featured on your website, so that it's optional but strongly suggested. Oops. So step 3 is about raising your visibility, and it leads me nicely to share my brief details of my home study course with you, which is all about raising your visibility. It's a 6-week program with workbooks to get clarity on your vision and your message, to raise your visibility and to stop self-sabotage. Isn't that the number one thing that most of us are doing? Self-sabotage. So let me just run you through what each week will be about. And it's a home study course, so it's not live. It was live, but it's you can do it at your leisure now. So the first week, or the first masterclass, is called Clarify and Align Your Vision and Desires. And this sets the foundation for the entire program. Define the vision. Because if you can't define your vision, you can't achieve it. And we get very, very clear about how to define your vision. And if you're not clear about what you really want in your business either, or if some part of you is not quite committed, then you will struggle. So this is a very powerful module, because you get to meet your higher self in this module as well. And your higher self helps you align your vision, what you really want from your life and from your business. The second module is called Master Your Money Mindset. Discover how to break free from a scarcity mentality around money so that you can monetize your calling. I'll be sharing the exact money block technique I use to overcome financial limiting beliefs to generate a £5,000 fortnight. And understanding your money story and then making changes to set it up for success is a game changer. Week 3 is all about accomplishing smart woman confidence, how to overcome self-sabotage and procrastination. And I go into quite a lot of depth about various techniques you can use to overcome procrastination and what self-sabotage is, and what we're doing to ourselves without even realizing. And then there's a formula for self-confidence that you can read and implement into your life every day. Week 4 is where the visibility part comes in, because it's giving yourself permission to be called to action. I don't believe you can do anything until you give yourself permission to do it. This is all about a decision. You can just live your life sitting on the sofa if you want to and not do anything. You've got to give yourself permission to be called to action if that's what you want to do with your life. How to stop playing small, how to step out into the world. And this includes a step-by-step process to becoming more visible. Week 5 is aligning your business to your life purpose. So many women have a business that's not aligned to their purpose. It doesn't reflect their calling, and they wonder why it isn't successful. So this is how to discover how to have a business that reflects your calling so that your work is in and flow. And as you can see, all of these things are adding to your visibility, adding to you making decisions about yourself, giving yourself permission, aligning yourself to your life, really. And then week 6 is getting clarity on your ideal client and their desired outcome. And this gives you enormous clarity, insight, and confidence with who you're meant to serve. But you can't get to that stage until you've gone through the layers of mindset, aligning yourself, giving yourself permission, clarifying, getting your vision and your desires. All of these foundations need to be laid first before you even start to get clarity on your ideal client. So the investment for this program is only £197. It was originally £397. But because it's not live anymore, then it's a home study program. It's now £197, or there is a payment plan. There's 2 payments of £107. So let's get back to the webinar. And one of the ways of raising your visibility is attending live events. So you can buy a ticket. You know, if you don't have any celebrities in your niche, near you. You can buy a ticket. You buy a ticket to attend their live event that features a niche authority figure that you'd love to connect with. And I know Dalai Lama is coming to London, for example. Louise Hay comes to London, or the various business gurus that you don't have to come to London. You can wherever your town is, and go to their seminars, ask questions, get out and socialize between event modules. It's much easier to ask Sally Famous if she'd mind you shooting a selfie with her if you've just been chatting over coffee and been talking about the continental breakfast that you had together. And then you raise your profile by association instantly when you post the photo on your website or blog or your social feed. What's more, you're now a networking contact with that person. Follow it up by sending a note saying how much you enjoyed contacting them at the event, and include something useful, an address they asked for a tip about, something really juicy. And be as creative as you can, but keep it real and relevant and genuine. Or, some people take testimonials at live events. Go around with your video camera. Or do as Kelly McCorsey did at the Toronto Exposure and Profit live event last year. She went round with a live scribe pen, right where every attendee was all fired up and inspired, and asked for feedback. It's a great idea. So go to their seminars, ask questions, and, as I say, follow up by sending a note. Other ways to raise your visibility: give feedback. So if you attended a live event and leave great, specific, relevant written feedback. Add your title. So if you're a lifestyle coach or whatever kind of coach you are, and your website address as well. So just get your name out there, get yourself out there. Other ways to raise your visibility: participate. Take part in telesummits and panels. Start with Google Hangouts. Volunteer your services. Keep your eyes peeled for guest opportunities. Even if you're on the same telesummit panel as Sally Famous. I mean, I was on a telesummit last year on Life Purpose, and there were so many different gurus on that same telesummit that I didn't realize that I'd ever come into contact with. And even if you've never actually spoken directly with that person, even if they're being broadcast 2 weeks before, or they're not even on live, you're still associated with them because you're on that telesummit. And people will say, wow, she's on that panel with Sally Famous, she must be good. So you get associated with them. And they start paying attention to what you say. And another tip: make videos. Make a regular video series and really give helpful mini coaching tips to your clients and your potential clients. People are always searching on YouTube. All you have to do is make sure you're creating tips about not just your speciality area, but things they're specifically searching for. Brand your YouTube channel as thoroughly and consistently as you brand your website. Ask people to subscribe. If your content is great, chances are they're already looking to do so. Other ways to raise your visibility: actively seek interviews. Podcasters are always on the lookout for entertaining guests. Offer your services both directly by contacting them and indirectly by creating a section on your website offering your services. As you begin guest speaking for podcasts, archive them on your guest speaking page. Other ways to raise your visibility: where there's the best place to start with all these profile raising activities? Well, where is it? It's networking, and it's in your own circle. Yes, it's fantastic to land an interview or a joint venture with a bigger name celebrity, but you're far more likely to receive yes responses from people you've already met. In forums you belong to, Facebook groups, just a plug for my Facebook group, which is Ignite Your Coaching Business, and Life Purpose Academy. So Ignite Your Coaching Business and Life Purpose Academy. And other networking or teaching events as well. So it's all about having credibility. People who already know you are much less likely to turn you down, because they've already a pretty good idea of what you're all about. You probably know more than you think you would. Sorry, you probably know more than you think you do, and you would jump at the chance to feature in a podcast interview, or they would jump at the chance to get you to write a guest post or contribute a guest video to their blogs. And once your words are publicly shared, it's much easier to interest those bigger potential partners or guests. Other ways, be quotable. In his book Authority, web designer and marketer Nathan Barry spoke about the difference between Marco Polo, the explorer, and other unnamed explorers who preceded him. So why don't we remember the names of the other explorers? Because unlike Marco Polo, they didn't write about their experiences. He went on to parallel this by comparing himself and a friend. Earlier in his career, he and his friend were both at the same level as web designers. This is Nathan Barry. But his friend started to write articles to help other people, and Barry did not. He says that even he found it easier when people asked him questions to send them a link to his friend's articles. And pretty soon his friend was being quoted all over the place and became a celebrity expert in his own right. And here's the secret. If you don't write to help people, there's nothing for them to share. They won't send people links to your articles because these don't exist, and they won't quote you. So if you want to be perceived as an expert, provide quotable quotes, and then take it one step further. Provide a press kit and a media page on your website. Take all your guest appearances, prominent photographs, best quotes, and lists of magazines or sites you've been published in, and lay them out in your press media section. Provide a professionally designed one-page media kit that summarizes that you want people to know about you and showcases why you are noteworthy. Just to say, hello Periscope, I haven't forgotten you. Please give me some hearts if you're enjoying this. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for bearing with me because I know you can only just see, screens. I'm just gonna say hello. Hi there. This is an experiment doing a webinar by Periscope, so thank you for bearing with me. Let's go back to the webinar. Your goal here is to provide instant, entertaining fodder to the media, to editors, journalists, podcasters, and even TV producers, if that's what you want to do. Providing a professional media section is another easy way to let the right people know that, yes, you're the expert. And if you haven't yet landed any interviews, create this section anyway, even if it just contains your media kit, because it shows that you want to be visible and you're looking for experiences like that. Another way is public speaking. This is another area where you can shine. Again, people are always looking for guests, so get out there and volunteer. And if you're shy, join your local Toastmasters club and put in some practice. In short, manageable bites before a warm, sympathetic audience of peers who can later interview or partner up with you. And join local business organisations or find out which government-sponsored entrepreneurial or employment programmes are running in your neighbourhood, and volunteer to host a free workshop. Have someone snap a photo of you teaching and include that in your press media section on your website. These are the quickest and most common, as well as the most successful ways to raise your profile quickly. The next step is write a book. Every expert ought to have a book to his or her name. It adds instant credibility and gives people something legitimate to quote from and talk about. I have 3 ebooks. I haven't written a long book, but I've contributed to two books as well. My ebooks are on my website. There's one on my website that you can download, and I will be sharing my other 2 ebooks. And so how long does a book have to be? The average entrepreneur author would probably tell you a minimum of 25,000 words. The real answer is as long as it takes to deliver what your title promises. The one on my website is 5 Secrets to Creating the Life You Were Born to Lead. And that's what I give you, 5 secrets. It's an ebook. And I've had some great feedback on it, so please check it out. And my website is smartwomanacademy.co.uk. If you communicate clearly, stay focused on your points, and impart real information that will change someone's life for the better, even in a small way, because you just never know, what impact you're going to have on someone, then you've done your job as an author. And adding extra pages and words will only weaken your message. So don't worry about writing reams and reams and reams. And if you're turning pale at the thought of writing a book, understand that there are ways of making the process virtually painless. You can repurpose blog posts, client handouts, even client notes. And as a coach, you've probably written reams of notes yourself, even if you've never written a single article. Look through them all, keeping an eye out for common themes. Find your topic and create an outline from these common points or themes. Then paraphrase and expand your notes into a book. And if you haven't yet started writing articles, remember Marco Polo and Nathan Barry and his friend, and start writing them. Commit yourself to writing 850 words per day. This is another method that really works. If you seriously make a commitment and sit down like a grumpy school kid to write your 850 words per day, no matter what, at the end of 1 month, you'll have written just over 25,000 words. A book. The trick is to write whether or not you feel inspired. Just sit down and start writing. Sometimes the best material comes from brainstorming. Or outsource it. It's best if you speak in your own words, but if that really is not you, then consider hiring a ghostwriter. Make sure you hire a good one with a strong reputation and credentials, and make sure you provide them with a work for hire agreement, or in which they relinquish all rights and cede copyright for the finished body of work over to you. Many people worry about whether or not to include their ghostwriter as co-author. Here's the deal. You don't have to, and you won't be expected to do so. And if you create this arrangement, this contract that they sign, then the ghostwriter cedes all rights to you. The only time you might want to include your ghostwriter as a co-author is if he or she is an established authority figure in your niche, and having a co-author would raise your own profile or create a strong networking connection. So provide your ghostwriter with an outline if you can, and throw in some point form specific personal examples they can use. As an author, you can use your book as a legitimate reason for creating a Facebook page for your book. Creating a Facebook author page where you've written more than one book. Offering yourself as a valuable guest to be interviewed. Approaching joint venture partners and holding local workshops or book signings, and much more. And be creative here. If writing really isn't your thing, then record your book and create an audio book, and then hire a transcriptionist to produce a print version. So there's all sorts of ways of doing it. Or maybe you're better at putting out a book of cartoons. Just create a strong central character or premise and launch your cartoons around them. Look at the Dilbert cartoons, and there's an office-based learning body of work there, if there ever was one. You can do the same thing in any coaching field. You can have cartoons about CrossFit training, about spiritual enlightenment, and so on. You can outsource creating cartoons too. Just be sure to use the same artist for every cartoon. And remember to get that work agreement. So step 4, hang out with the rich and famous. And that's what actors do when they want to raise their profiles. But of course, there are ways to do this that are more authentic and more effective than others. We've already touched on several of these methods, and now we're going to drill down a little deeper. So make live events an essential strategy. We mentioned attending their events, or events where they're guest speaking, or even just attending. But don't just go to one event. Plan several for the year. Fit this into your budget and your business plan. So if 6 actors turned up on the red carpet several times together, even if one is a relative unknown, the other 5 will accept him just out of familiarity. And so he's here, so he must be one of us kind of effect. And remember, this is a basic law of human nature. And so use it. And get photographed together. How many times have you seen photos of perfectly ordinary kids go viral on Facebook or Twitter? or because they attended some movie premiere or music event and managed to snap a selfie with a famous actor or musician. Aren't they calling that bombs nowadays? Photo bombs. And if you're at the same events as your niche heroes, take selfies. Asking first is always a good idea. If they've been chatting to you, they usually say yes. Or get a friend and a fellow attendee, or even the hotel or restaurant staff to snap that photo for you. Or you could joint venture with someone famous in your field. This is almost impossible if they've never heard of you and you have zero visibility, but it can be done, providing you have a product that is both perfect and powerful for your subscribers. Note that it doesn't have to be a perfect product, just perfect for their subscribers. You need to approach them the way you would approach a celebrity to endorse your book. Research them, take your time to contact them carefully, and give them big reason to care about your product. You can also offer 100% commission, and be sure to make it easy for your celebrity by doing all the work. Get someone famous to write the foreword of your book. And the first step to securing a recognized celebrity or expert to write your book forward is just ask. A lot of this is just about asking. I mean, the answer might be no, but it could also be, and more often is, yes. Because they started somewhere, and a lot of them, sometimes it's an emotional thing where they realise that they wouldn't have got where they are today if they hadn't have asked and been brave and put their big girl pants on. So there are a few essential steps to take, however, to increase your chances of getting that all-important yes answer. So research your intended forward writer. The more famous or in demand your intended expert is, the more necessary this step will prove to be. Find out things like your intended forward writer's schedule over the next 6 months, whether or not he or she has an assistant or a media handler, what his or her passions and interests are, what events were significant in his or her life, which projects he or she is launching in the next 6 months, and how closely these tie into or complement your projects. If your intended endorser is really well known, chances are you need to create good luck for yourself by approaching him or her through proper channels, for example, a personal assistant or media handler, and coordinate your requests with downtimes or offering to promote a new product that ties in with yours, or simply by knowing what to talk about in your request approach, what gets that person excited, for example. You'll make it easier if you provide handy prompts as well. So include a copy of the book for your expert to check out and tell them what to say. When we say tell them what to say, it don't mean writing the foreword for them, though that is certainly an option, especially if you do personally know the expert and provide them with a suggestion on the grounds of their busy schedule and wishing to save them time. But it simply means asking them to point out why they think readers should read your book and what benefit doing so will bring them. If you've previously met the expert, remind them of your connection with them. And if you've not previously met the expert, tell them why you chose them. Connect this to acknowledge their expertise in your field. And get someone famous to write the foreword of your book. Choose a relevant celebrity or expert. The best type of endorser is ask someone who is in authority in your area, someone who already has a large following. There should be someone who is an expert in your field or who successfully lives the lifestyle you're promoting and teaching, someone your readers would love to emulate. Choose your foreword writer carefully. Remember that his or her fans and followers may become yours. Are they the right audience for you? So don't waste this opportunity. So to sum things up, raising your profile all boils down to two things: taking action and asking. The more actions you take, the more things will seem to fall into your lap. And the first action you take that results in even minimal success response will seem to unblock energy on a metaphysical level. You'll suddenly be surprised at an opportunity that will turn up, one that never turned up before. And that's because you're putting yourself in the game. And the more actions you take, the more things will seem to fall into your lap. And pretty soon you'll know you've made it. When out of the blue, people are asking you to be a guest on their shows, write their forwards, join their big ticket mastermind clubs, or joint venture with them. That's when you know you've become the celebrity and you can raise your prices, grow your list, influence your niche, and make more profit. So that's a lot of information to chew over, but it gives you many strategies to consider. Some won't work for you, not because they don't work, but for other reasons, such as being too much of a learning curve, or being outside of your comfort zone, or you just don't want to try it. But I'm going to ask you to push that envelope as much as you can. Try stepping outside of your comfort zone, and more often than not, you'll discover you're moving forwards again instead of sitting stagnant and behind closed doors. Pick at least 3 of the strategies presented here and get started. Remember, take action. Start asking for what you want. And just a reminder of the home study course again. Activate Your Life Purpose. It's a 6-week program with workbooks to get clarity on your vision and message, to raise your visibility, and to stop self-sabotage. The 6 classes are clarify and align your vision and desires, master your money mindset, accomplish smart woman confidence, give yourself permission to be called to action, align your business to your life purpose, get clarity on your ideal client and their desired outcome. And I'd like to offer some bonuses with that as well, which for 197 will be highly attractive. I'm offering a bonus 20-minute coaching session with me, and also a 20-minute life purpose session with me too. And a bonus free audio of Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the books that's changed my life, because it addresses your money story. If you'd like to take advantage of this home study course, then the website address is smartwomanacademy.co.uk/6-week program. And if anyone is on Periscope, if they could type that in for me, that would be great. But if not, I don't know if you can actually see it. I'm just moving it so you can see the full address. Because with Periscope, you can't go landscape. So it's smartwomanacademy.co.uk/6-week program. And as I say, it's only £997. There is a payment plan. And on top of that, you get these 3 bonuses. So does anyone have any questions? I'm just going to go back to the Google Hangout to see if anybody has any questions there. Okay, any questions on Periscope? If anybody watching the replay has questions, then please, hi. If anyone on replay has questions, then please send them either on Twitter, which is @smartwomanbiz, or Karen@smartwomanacademy.co.uk. And thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you, bye-bye.